the astrological, astronomical, numerological report with Sunshine Moon AL. I haven't seen you guys since Saturday. That was the 8th, right? Saturday. So we gotta go back. We gotta recap and then forecast. So on the day of 689, we were on the day of 8, transformation, death and rebirth, building and destroying. If I rewind back, what's today? Today's the 10th. So Tuesday the 10th, Monday the 9th. Oh, that was Sunday. Sunday the 8th. Okay. So I did do Saturn day with y'all at least. So Saturn. So Sunday was the day of, the sun. Pretty self-explanatory. The external side of the third eye, how your masculine energy interacts with the masculine energy around you, right? And so on the day of 689, so now we're in a day of standing on business, building and destroying, transformation, secrets coming out, empowerment, self-powering. 8 deals with the external side of the solar plexus chakra. So this is how you build and destroy in alignment to your relationship with your gut, and the gut instinct that you get, Aries, your solar internal side of your solar plexus chakra, right? And so we take that 8. 8 also deals with Sebek. This is Hod. This is Mercury in the Netarus as well as in the Tree of Life. We get into the 8th Sephirah. This is when we get into compartmentalizing, organization, paying attention to detail. This is the celestial technician energy on that realm of things. So whether you're going about it, the building, destroy, transformative, Scorpius route, or compartmentalizing, organizing, and management, it still deals with the solar plexus chakra, right? So you're going to take that 8 and put it into the month of 6. This is the month of Tippereth, the heart that's on fire. All the other Sephiroth is connected. This is the balance beam right here. It's a space of beauty, creativity, your confidence and courageousness, your inner thespian. 6 also deals with Virgo energy as well, because Virgo rules over the 6th house. That's talking about health, wealth, daily routine, moral integral code, your habits, your ritualistic stuff, what you teach, what you learn, what you listen, what you speak to, the ear, nose, and throat area, as well as the heart, as we associated with Tippereth. Um, so that's all the 6. Being of service is heavy here too. So we're going to take that 8 of building and destroying. We're going to put it into our 6, that number of equality and supreme mathematics. And we come up with 1 and 4, right? 6 plus 8 is 1 and 4, right? So now we have the knowledge. 1 is knowledge. This is the ketters. This is the space in between your physical body and the spiritual realm, where you get your downloads into your wherever your Fibonacci is on your head. 1 also deals with Aries Ogun energy. This is the gut that controls the mind, and everything starts with the thought, right? 1 also deals with taking initiative. Hey, Denny. Hey, Gabe. 1 takes initiative. This is the leader cardinal energy, And so 4 is Chesed in the Tree of Life. 4 is also Maya energy in the Netarus. This is the celestial law and order that we have here. So you have to have knowledge of the celestial law. So it's like we want to compartmentalize. We want to be in our solar plexus chakra and connected to our heart, Tippereth. Well, in order to do that, you have to take that knowledge and turn it into your divine blueprint, into your celestial law. And 1 and 4 come together, it makes 5. So not only do you have to have knowledge of your celestial law, your culture or sense of freedom, you have to enforce it. 5 is the number of power in supreme mathematics. 5 deals with Hero Kahuti energy. This is Jabora between the Netarus and the Tree of Life. This is where you're also dealing with your solar plexus chakra. But in regards to the Tree of Life, now 5 deals with Leo energy and astrology, as Leo energy rules over the 5th house, still dealing with that fire, the wands of being confident, courageous, and brave, and implementing the things that you want in your space, right? And then we're going to take that 5 and we're going to give birth to it. Because of course I want to give birth to what I'm enforcing. I just did all this work, right? I just be doing this just to be doing it. That ain't it, okay? Um, so I take the 5 and I put it into this year of 9. This is the year of Yemoja, Yesod, the celestial womb, giving birth. This is born in supreme mathematics. So, we're in the year of, they call it karmic energy, but it's really like, you're giving birth to the things you want to you're giving your attention to, what I'm saying, with the 9s. 9 also deals with Sagittarius. This is the wisdom from the oracle and sages. Now we get into the Jupiter energy, of expansion and abundance. You know, the year of Jubilee, the year of gold and alchemy. So this is the space for that. There is no number higher than 9, so we're in our wholeness and completion. Even going into the realms of humanitarianism, getting into our philosophical selves, all of that is the 9. Whether you're dealing with it on a Jupiter level of Sagittarius, or you're dealing with it in the Netherus and the Sephiroth, or supreme mathematics is the number of birth, reproductive self, right? So we're going to take this 5 and put it into the 9, and the 9 is like, okay, you want that 5, you want that Jabora, the Eragudi, that power, bet. Go back to the 1 and 4. It gave us the 1 and 4 right back. Because 5 plus 9 is what? 14. So now, once again, we're coming back to the knowledge of our chess, getting more, downloads for our celestial blueprint, our, internal law, right? So overall, Sunday was a day of 5, which is really cool because 5 rules over Leo energy, right? When we're dealing with, Leo ruling over the 5th house, that is the sun. And then 5 being Jabor, this is a space of mercy. This is when we get into the celestial enforcers, power and supreme mathematics. Just get into your confidence, your bravery, your courageousness, your motivation, your ambition, your triggers, what gets you going, what gets you angry, how you express it. You know what I'm saying? That's all in the 5s. And 5 in numerology is like satisfying your curious, adventurous self, which is a big thing too. So when we get into what was astrologically happening on Sunday, the 8th, right? That was a 91% waxing gibbous moon, still on that moon of building tangible things. It was a Scorpio moon, so Scorpio moon on the day of 8 is pretty cool because now we have like transformations happening to our emotions and our sense of belonging. You know what I'm saying? Or we're expressing our emotions and our sense of belonging and our intuitive self in a very transformative, empowering way. It's in Libra on the Vedic scale, so the events was emotions being expressed to create law, justice, truth, and righteousness. The events all going to the 9th house of expansion and abundance, foreign interactions, traveling, like international type situation, and downloads from the oracle and sages. The sun of course is still in Gemini, Taurus energy, so we're Gemini on the tropical, our mind, draconic, our soul, and our body, or the events around us, is still in the Taurus constellation. It was at a 22 degrees, so it was at that degree of the master archetype, which is pretty cool. So we still have that alignment between how I think and how I feel, you know, in my experiences. And that's still happening to the 4th house of your nurturing emotional self, home and family, sense of belonging. The sun is going to be in the 4th house. So like the forefront of our experiences, throughout the first half of this fiscal year was heavy on our emotions, home and family, sense of belonging, our nurturing self, feminine energy, as you see a lot of feminine energy coming out, and the celestial celebrity realm, right? They are personifications of the stars, and you see a lot of feminine energy coming out. Lilith is over there in Libra. You see the Libras coming out acting up. I love it. I'm here for it. Go on. Whenever we have a moon phase come out, another celebrity go and do something, it's the invocation of the stars, and we get to watch it through the ones and zeros. The moon and Zubin El Janubi are also at minimal angle at 6:45 a.m. The moon is 4.9 degrees south-southwest. Conjunction at 8:26 a.m. The moon is 5 degrees south, and well, 5 degrees south. Observe at 3:05 a.m. with a 5.2 degree south separation. Now, Zubin Al Janubi, I believe, is in the lower call, but just to double check on my notes, so I ain't sitting up here lying to y'all. I do have a page where I wrote all the stars down. I just have to find it. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm starting to learn these by heart, but give me grace. I ain't totally there yet. But oh yeah, Zubin. I was right. Zubin El Janubi is in the lower claw of the southern scale of the southern claw between the Libra and the Scorpius constellation. Because for those of you guys didn't know, they used to all be part of one constellation. It deals with hindering journeys and marriage and redemption of captives. It gives off the energy of Saturn and Mars, so it's very volatile, very challenging. A little violent. You know what I'm saying? But that's where the moon was next to. So the emotions, putting you into a space where, yeah, I'm speaking, empowering powerfully, but it could also been a little combative. Mercury and Jupiter were also in conjunction on Sunday. That happened at 4:10 p.m. Mercury was 2 degrees north. Minimal angle at 3:03 p.m. Mercury was 2 degrees north. And we were able to observe that at 8:53 p.m. with a 2-degree north separation. We know Mercury rules over the throat chakra. This is, how you listen, speak, teach, learn, communication, any form of expression, ear, nose, and throat area. And it's in alignment with Jupiter, which is our sacral chakra. So throat and sacral, speaking joy, it's heavy there. Getting your downloads from the oracle and sages, as Mercury deals with invocation and Jupiter deals with the wisdom from the oracle and sages. Jupiter also deals with foreign interaction. Mercury's communication. So communicating, invoking some things that you want in your space that bring you joy, bring you sacral chakra, and putting you to the space of traveling. And we love it here, right? The PM of Mercury begins because we were at a half phase with Mercury, so it was a little dim light, but now we're starting to see it more and more as we're coming into the I think at this point we should be in waxing phase. I think we are until we get to full Mercury. Don't quote me on that. I got y'all next next mathematics on that, but I know we were recently at dichotomy, which is half phase for the planets. Then Monday, yesterday, a few minutes ago, was 699, which is pretty cool. We get a 699, right? So we were a day of 9. This is wholeness, completion, giving birth, born, the energy of Yesod, Yemoja, and we love giving birth to things, right? We love giving life to things. We love harvesting and all that fun stuff. And Jupiter is all on the nines, giving us that expansion and abundance and generosity and humanitarian energy and philanthropy and all that fun stuff. So we did that, right? And we put it into the 6th, the month of Tippereth, which brought us to 1 and 5. So this is heavy on the solar plexus chakra. So, we think Sunday you had to enforce some things. Now, for real, we have now moved to the Scorpius constellation in the moon, which I'll get into in a moment, but I just wanted to say that for a minute. So now are the events around us emotionally are creating transformations where before it was in our mind and our auric body. Now our body is following up and experiencing the experiences of those transformations, right? So, yeah, we got the 6 and 9 coming together. That's 1 and 5. One is that knowledge, intellect, Heracahudi, Ketters with the Aquarian energy, getting the downloads. One is taking action. One also deals with Aries energy, as Aries rules over the first house, taking initiative, taking action, being a leader, reliable and dependable. What's your motivation? What's your ambition? What gets you going? And then 5 deals with Herakuhudi, Jabora, and the tree of life in the Netherru, still in the solar plexus chakra. 5 is power. 1 is knowledge. 5 is power. So you have the knowledge of the power. You have the double solar plexus chakra energy. You have the motivation, the ambition, all that fun stuff. That brings us back to 6, right? Takes us right back to our Tippereth. It takes us back to our Virgo of health, wellness, daily routine, and our moral integral code and our ritualistic stuff and how we schedule and organize ourselves, right? And then we put that back into the year of 9. So we get to deal. So yesterday, Monday, we got 6, 9, 15, 6, 9, 15. So we had a blend of that, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to give, birth and give life to what's in our Tippereth, but having to utilize our knowledge and our solar plexus chakra to get us going back into the Tippereth that we wanted to give birth to. So that was kind of like the flow on Monday. I don't know if you guys felt that, even if just internally in your mind, but having to go in spaces where you had to enforce the things that you want. Again, even if just to yourself and the intrusive thoughts that came your way, you know what I'm saying? Moving in that space. Now, astrologically, astronomically, we've made it to a 96% waxing gibbous moon. Like I said, we're in Scorpius on our mind. Our soul is in Sagittarius, so we started the day off with Sagittarius art. The moon already being draconic Sagittarius, already traveling, being on that joy, generosity, and expansion, while our mindset is on the transformations and empowerment, and our energy exchanges is on. I'm sorry, I lied. Our mind is in Sagittarius, where our spirit at this point on the 10th. Our energy exchanges is on Scorpius, energy on the transformations and empowerment. Now this is going to the 10th house. So being tapped into the moon yesterday, on the day of the moon, it was a Monday, it was a lunar day. So it was day of Yemoja. So it was cool that we got to experience the 9 twice. God damn it. What's today? Today's the 10th, right? I'm mixing up my days. Yeah, it's cool that we got to experience Monday on a 9, right? We love here. So Then we have the sunrise at 5:30, setting at 8:27. Again, still in the Gemini Taurus energy. The moon into Shubra, we're at minimal angle at 2:39 p.m. The moon was 2.9 degrees south southwest. Conjunction at 3:53 p.m. The moon was 3 degrees south, and we were able to observe that at 9:19, gang, with a 4.7 degree east southeast separation. Now, the Shubra is the star, and the where are you? I know it's the Scorpius constellation, and it gives off Mars and Saturn energy as well. So it's still very combative and could be a little violent. And it's the solar plexus mixed with the root chakra, challenges with to the solar plexus chakra. Immortality and assault can happen under these stars, which do happen under these stars. Improving misfortune and testing the durability of love. This star is located at the head of the Scorpius constellation, which is very interesting. Um, then we had Moon and Graphius in conjunction at 6:05 p.m. The moon was 6.2 degrees north. This is also in the Scorpius constellation. We are still giving off the energy of Mars and Saturn energy. Uh, this is a crab, the claws. And then we have, Monday. I was tired on Monday, but now it makes sense. Mercury entered Cancer zodiac, so we had that transit happening, and then Jupiter entered Cancer zodiac, so we had that transit happening too on the tropical chart. Oh, okay, because when I tell you I was sleepy yesterday, and y'all know I'm very mercurial, I was sleepy yesterday. Like, my sister was sleepy too. Um, but yeah, so both of those energies. So you have your throat chakra entering into nurturing and intuitive energy and emotions, and then we have our joy. Listen, this is a very good time to let your heart be the compass and navigate you through some spaces, because Mercury and Jupiter hanging out in Cancer energy. It's a good time to nurture your intuition in this space. Happy Jupiter return to my Jupiter Cancerians, gang gang. Um, then we also have Mars was at 25 degrees Leo in the seventh house. So you had your solar plexus chakra, your motivation, being confident and courageous to bring balance and justice in the seventh house. And I was in opposition with Pallas. So it's all about your genius like qualities that you overlook, being revolutionary, individualistic, and unique in Aquarius, going to the first house, which is, your appearance, the energy you give off. So having that like magic wand, if you will, between motivation and what you're good at. That was a nice alignment. Um, we also had the moon. The moon was at 28 degrees in the Scorpius constellation, so we had, our emotions providing transformations and towards our space of business, joy, our sacral chakra. Hey, chef. And that was in opposition of Uranus, providing the progressive pushes in Taurus, which is what we value and prioritize in the third house of community, towards community and communication. So that's a nice one too. Some of y'all had to go to y'all community and talk y'all shit, to progressively push the people around you to move a certain kind of way, right? I love you too, Denny. So that's what we had going on yesterday on Monday. Erica, is that you? It is not. If it was, I would have told her while we were sleeping. Alright, so let's get into today, right? Today is 6/10/9. Today is the day of 10. It's Malkuth, Jeb, Earthly Self, coming into our physical realm. We've made it through the first decan of the 6th month. Yay. Congrats. How do you guys feel? We're making it, we're coming back down to the day of 1, because Malkuth 10 in the earthly realms is like knowledge in our cipher. So I don't know if you guys ever noticed the tree of life. You got roots going downward and upward at the same time on the tree of life. So, as we're being rooted in the ones and zeros in earth, you come up, and it's crazy because Aquarius rolls over the ones and zeros, but it's one in the Ketters is knowledge. So we have knowledge in our cipher and we have knowledge. So today is a day of knowledge. We love it here, taking initiative, taking action on the second decan of the month. I'm going to take this one of knowledge, taking initiative, energy, being rooted in earth as well as rooted in the cosmos, and we're going to put it to our temper because of course we want to confidently enforce this thing in our space. And that brings us to 7. It brings us closer to God and supreme mathematics. 7 deals with Netzach or Het Heru in the Netarus and Sephiros, which is the celestial designer, designing all the pretty things in our space and making it all nice and we like it here. And Netzach is Venusian rule, so it's about what we prioritize, what we value, what we find beauty, and what makes us want to be creative is in that Sephiroth, right? Seven deals with the Olga scales, which is also Venusian ruled. Now we're getting into law, justice, truth, and righteousness, which sounds like an alignment with God. um, so now we're in a space of seven. Seven in numerology can put you in a space of isolation and solitude, so you can go more inward and study self. Circle seven. And so we take that seven and we put into the year of nine because, of course, we want to give birth to the seven. We made it with a one and a six. Why not? And when we give birth to it in the year of nine, the year of Yesai, Yamoja, the celestial womb, it brings us back to one and six, right? Because seven plus nine, it brings us back to 1 6. So if you notice the pattern, it's like we put the numbers together, then we give it to the nine, and the nine is kind of like giving us a repeat throughout the day. So this might be another decan where we experience the same number twice. That seems to be the vibe this month. Like you guys get to feel each number twice, go through the same pattern at least twice in a day. You know, you might miss one bus, next 15 one coming in the same day. It might be something like that happening for y'all, and that's pretty cool. So you know, we come back to the one and six, of course, and so overall today's a day of seven, and today's a great day for my seven life pathers. Um, you know, going inward, getting in tune with your spiritual self, getting closer to God, your godly self, law, justice, truth, and righteousness is heavy here. So, you know, obtaining that balance in your interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts is very important in this space and time. Anybody not fulfilling their side of the contract, call them out, call them out. We want balance. We seek balance today on the 7th. We seek internal balance with our spiritual and emotional self on this day of seven as well. And we design the things that we want to beautify in our space. So for those of you guys who like to create things, you know, you might feel like a burst of inspiration today, and that's fun, right? Okay, so let's get into the astrological astronomical update. We started the day off with a 99% waxing gibbous moon. We're getting closer and closer to the full moon. One more day, y'all. On the 11th, we in there. Moon rising at 8:26 p.m. and setting at 4:29 a.m. We are in Sagittarius on the mind and the soul. So mind, soul, tropical and draconic. We're in Sagittarius, expansion, abundance, joy, generosity. Just going out there. We're still in Scorpius on the tropical, dealing with the transformations, death and rebirth, empowerment, secrets coming out, sexual energy happening here in our space as well. Sunrise at 5:29 a.m. and setting at 8:28 p.m. We're still in Gemini Taurus energy. We now made it to 24 degrees Taurus, finding balance, harmony, and wisdom in our chest at our internal law with our heart, while our mindset is on 19 degrees, knowledge being born, and our intellect and how we view community and communication, how focused and fickle we are mentally, while our body is in that slow and steady fixed earth of Taurus, right? The moon in Aries is conjunction this morning at 7:42 a.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south. Minimal angle at 7:39 a.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south, and we'll be able to observe that at 3:59 a.m. with a 2-degree west-southwest separation. Now we have made it out of the Saturn and the Mars stars, and we have made it into, I want to say this is Jupiter and Mars. So we still have to enforce some things in our space. Let me double check myself. Like I said, I'm getting better, y'all. Yes, this is in the heart of the Scorpius constellation. This is Mars and Jupiter. So we are still in that Mars energy. Depends on how active you are in your solar plexus chakra. Hopefully you're not overactive. This could be a great time here. Being motivated by what brings you joy and humanitarian pursuits and the downloads you get from oracles being your ambition and stuff like that. However, if not, you can be, you know, stuck in your pride. This is also a good space for business, being motivated for some business pursuits. Power and justice is heavy there too, and under that star. And then we have the comet 21P Giacobini Zinner in conjunction with the sun. We like comets because comets have all the ancient celestial dust nuggets all in itself, and it goes across the sun. That means it's coming across our experiences. So a lot of you guys are going to be having some past life experiences today as the comet goes across the sun and gives us some of that ancient, you know, dust. You might get some, you know, some revelations from like previous lives on previous lands, because the comets go from all lands throughout all galaxies. Doesn't really discriminate. It goes where it wants to go. If I were to come back as something, I definitely want to come back as a comet. I feel like they got some freedom about them. They just be out here in these streets, and that's how I'm trying to be. Um, but so that's what we have at 6:03 a.m. The comet will be 17.4 degrees south of the sun, so that's fun there. Pallas retrograde begins today, y'all. So Pallas is the asteroid that deals with our genius-like qualities in ourselves that we overlook. And I also have notes for that too. Hold on, let me go through my notes because I can read from my notes what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta freeball it. Is this recent? Let me focus. I'm distracted myself. I know that's recent. But that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So Pallas represents your talents in the arts, wisdom, defense, intuition, justice, and artisan endeavors. Shows where you are a master of negotiation. Shows relationship with father and how you treat men in general. Shows the battle you choose and how you fight them. Pallas shows how we battle with conflict, legal battles, and injustice. Struggles with illness and immune system, how we focus, strategize, find patterns and inventive solutions to tricky situations, and how we sometimes go too far, cause damage, and learn our lesson. Where one's divine spark of creative intelligence and higher wisdom may spring forth and reveals our natural strengths in problem solving, strategy, and defense. So that's our Pallas living his best life over there. And we move in gratitude. Thank you, Pallas. Um and then what? We have daytime Arctic meteor shower from the Aries constellation. They reached their peak. Um, oh, it actually reaches its peak today. It's a daytime meteor shower, and they move about 50 an hour from that constellation. So that's cool. So not only do we have a comet going across the sky, we got Pallas going in retrograde, slowing down some of our, talents and things we overlook. And then we got a meteor shower in the daytime. So in the middle of the day probably be a good time to ground yourself, put your feet in the dirt, have a good time, hug a tree. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. And then later on that night, then we have the full moon happening, right? Oh, like you. We start Wednesday. Gang, y'all know I love my Wednesdays. I was born on a Wednesday. Um, but we start Wednesday, 6/11, the day of mastering. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm also an 11 life path number. Yes, I'm making this about me. But yes, I am an 11 life path, born on a Wednesday. So a full moon on 6/11 on a Wednesday is a great time here. But yeah, so that's how we'll be starting it off. And so tomorrow's a nice pregame. Well, today I didn't go to sleep yet, so it's still tomorrow. But 6:10 is a nice pregame for the full moon with that retrograde, that meteor shower, and that comet going across the sky. So moving forward, let's get into we are in we're in the year of gold, right? This is being passionate, interesting, and faithful, attracting many people, being generous, kind, having long-lasting relationships, and a love for luxury and spending the monies. Then we're in the West African zodiac energy of the ancestors. We're here till July 4th, being powerful, imposing ourselves over other signs, strength, charm, wisdom, manipulating to get what we want. Must learn to interact with our environment, learn to not abuse our power so that we can be great leaders. We are still in the energy of the deer, swiftness, sharpness, intellect, need to be on go at all times. Work on our grounding during this season. This is the energy of Savan that we're under, and the Jewish calendar. We are in the day of, well, just to read over Savan. This is the energy of harvest. It's associated with the giving of the Torah, which we celebrated last weekend. And I've been reading the Torah with you guys ever since. Between TikTok, Facebook, and Meet Me, we've been reading the Torah. Hey, God's harness. And the establishment of the covenant between God and the Jewish people. It's also the month of harvest and ingathering. So the key events is Shabbat, commemorating the gift of the Torah. And we're moving gratitude. And then we are in the day of Yom Shlishi, which is the third day. And on the third day, God gathered the waters and caused dry land to appear. This is Genesis 1 9 to 13. And there's also a day when vegetation began to grow. It is a day associated with growth and nourishment. This day is considered a day of blessing because it is the only day in creation where two blessings are mentioned. It symbolizes abundance, growth, and fertility of the earth. Now, when it comes to the Hindu, um, you know, we're in the energy of Mithuna, which is the twins. Keep on the same energy as the Veggie twins or the Gemini twins, honestly. Um, but the ruling planet is Mercury, adaptable and curious, social, love of variety. The ruling deity is Vishnu, and Vishnu is the preserver of the universe and associated with adaptability, balance, and communication, which resonates with Gemini's. My bad, I'm touching stuff. Versatile and communicative nature. So let's go back to Yom Shlishi because while we're in the energy of Mithuna, we are on the day of Mangalvar, ruled by Lord Anuman and Lord Mars. Lord Anuman, devotees of Lord Rama, and also venerate him on this day. He is the monkey god, the symbol of strength, devotion, and courage, also the remover of obstacles, and is associated with physical and mental resilience. Mars, the planet of energy, action, and aggression, aligns with Lord Anuman's qualities. Tuesdays are regarded as special days for offering prayers to Lord Anuman, particularly to seek strength, victory, and the removal of obstacles. Devotees also perform Anuman Chalisa recitations or visit Anuman temples. It's believed that fasting on Tuesday can bring good fortune and courage. And I did say what constellation the moon was in when we started the day off, right? We're in 11 degrees Scorpio. Hold on a second, my bad, y'all. Let me tell y'all what lunar mansion that is in. We're almost there now. We're almost there now. Dun, 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 dun. One more nakshatra. One more lunar mansion. So this is the Anuradha, which is the 17th nakshatra. It goes from 3 degrees Scorpio to 16 degrees Scorpio. So it's ruled by Lord Shani, which is Saturn, and its primary deity is Mitra, the god of friendship, alliances, and partnerships. Anuradha is often associated with themes of loyalty, friendship, and the ability to form meaningful relationships and alliances. Um, when the moon transits here, people may feel a strong emotional desire to commit to their relationships or take on responsibilities that benefit others. It's a time when emotional bonds and loyalties become particularly important, and individuals may feel emotionally connected to their partners or communities in deeper ways. Anuradha's energy encourages people to build trust and establish solid emotional connections. If there has been any emotional distance or uncertainty in relationships, this period may bring a sense of clarity and opportunity to foster deeper understandings and connections. Okay, so the moon here, you just want to support people and you want emotional support, and we want to, it's like that empowerment in your emotional connections, and that's fun, right? We like empowerment or emotional connection. So we went over the numerology of the day, we went over the astrological astronomical report, we went over the Hindu and Hebrew calendar. Did we go over the Kemetic calendar? I don't think we did, y'all. We went over the horoscopes of West Africa and Native American. We did a lot. We did a lot. But hold on, I got something else for you. I know we're here for a certain period of time. Oh yes, we're in the energy of Seth until June 18th. This is the god of chaos, violence, perfectionism, and bold, seeking challenges, the center of attention, and communicating. So that's the decan that we're in on the ancient Kemetic calendar. And so let's get into the hours so I can see y'all on out. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Look at me. Look at me. Um, let me make space. So today is a Mars day. So we start off the hours with Mars, dealing with our assertive, aggressive energy, what gets us going, our motivational self, our solar plexus chakra. Mars is 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. So we're actually in the hour of Mars right now at a 1, 2, 3, 4, gang, gang. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mars is over there in Leo. This is in the tropical chart? Yeah, this is a tropical chart. So Mars is in Leo on the Vedic chart too, because we're at a 26 degree. So Mars is in at a 2 degree in the Vedic chart. So we are in the space of being confident and courageous and creative. Be mindful of being a little thespian and overly dramatic with your solar plexus chakra, but that's where we're at with it. And we're in the seventh house, so we're motivated towards that law, justice, truth, and righteousness, right? The seventh house is being ran by Leo right now, so riches and glory to those that move in that sense of law, justice, and truth, and righteousness. Ashe. The hours of the sun. Now, the sun deals with your vitality, your energetic self, your experiences, your masculine energy, and how it interacts with the masculine energy around you. Right now, the sun is over there in Gemini on the zodiacs, but it's still not but. And it's in the Taurus constellation. So it's in our mind, we're having the intellectual experiences being, versatile, adaptable, focused and flexible rather than being fickle. Some of y'all are being fickle. Work through it, because I know that can get very overwhelming and overstimulating real quick, especially once the sun enters Gemini constellation and your body starts to catch up to them thoughts. So one thing at a time. Um, but this is the balance between the mindset, what I think, and how I feel, right? With the sun sitting in Taurus on the Vedic chart, and it's all happening in the fourth house of home and family, our emotional self, and our sense of belonging. So that's cool too. So sun's hours are from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., right? Then we have the hours of Venus. Venus gets into your emotional self, what you value, what you prioritize, your self-esteem, your emotional connectivity with other people, facets of love and forgiveness, wealth, business, creativity, making things all pretty, agriculture, flowers, floral designing is heavy here, jewelry and fashion and all that is heavy here. We like it in the celestial designing realm of Venus, right? It's also a good time to get into romantic pursuits, though, too, if you want to, shoot your shot. Now, Venus is sitting over there in Taurus energy in its home space, so we are exalting in our emotions. Our heart chakra should be very big and activated in this period of time. Find out where your personal Venusian is and how it aligns with this energy. My Venus is in Virgo. Virgo just so happens to be Earth in alignment with the fixed Earth. So Earth supports Earth, and we love it here. So I'm having a great time. And also remembering that I am on the harvest end of the heart chakra. So what I value and prioritize, I give life to, right? And you find out where your personal Venus is and how it aligns with the Venus in the space that is around us right now, and do your own alchemy as you wish, right? Venus is in that house of 2, so it's also in its home house, Taurus house of possessions, what we value and prioritize. Now, the second house is being ruled by Aries energy right now, so it's new beginnings happening into that house of possession. So things we used to possess, we don't possess anymore. The things other people used to possess, they don't possess anymore. Everything is going up and trading places and transference of energy, and it's fun here. Did I go over the Venusian hours? I don't think so. Venus hours are from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. to midnight. Of course, then we move into Mercury. Mercury deals with your communication, how you listen, how you speak, how you teach, how you learn, ear, nose, and throat area, as we deal with our throat chakra, right? Mercury deals with how we organize ourselves, how we manage ourselves. Also traveling. Some light intercity traveling is heavy for Mercury too. And if you guys are into trading, Mercury is good for trading as well, and that's fun. Yeah. Mercury is also a good hour for invocation for my invocators out there. Mercury right now is sitting in Cancer energy, so it's in that space of being nurtured, focusing on your emotional self, either invoking your own emotions or invoking emotions around you. However way you want to look at that. Mercury is still sitting in that Gemini energy. It's still in the Gemini constellation, even though we have just entered the Cancer zodiac. So be mindful of that too. So while we think on the emotional connectivity to our communication and what we're learning about in our ritualistic self, also intuitive, because the Cancer also deals with our intuitive self. Our energy exchanges was actually happening when we communicate is going towards community, and how we speaking as far as that Gemini goes, being adaptable, being witty, being focused, or being fixed. Some of y'all emotions are all over the place, so it might be expressed all over the place too. Um, Cancer also deals with home and family and sense of belonging. Whereas, if it's in Gemini, you might feel like you belong all over the place and everywhere. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. Thank you. That, that's cool. Thanks. Um, but that's where Mercury is doing this thing. Mercury's hours are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right? Mars, Sun, Venus. No, I lied. Mercury is from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then midnight. We start Wednesday at a Mercury hour. I was like, that don't sound right. Because why would we start Mercury at 12? But yeah, those are the hours for Mercury. Then we get into the moon. The moon, it deals with our emotional self, home and family, our intuition, third eye. So if you want to do any third eye exercises, work, do anything pertaining to home and family or your internal energy, your feminine vibes or whatever, what have you. The moon's hours are the hours to do that. Right now, like we talked about, the moon being in our 17th lunar mansion, bringing us to a sense of wanting emotional support as moon sits over there between Scorpius energy and Libra energy. May our transformation and our empowerment and our emotional self bring us law, justice, truth, and righteousness, right? And all of this is happening towards our 10th house of success and achievements. When we do that, the moon's hours are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then we get into the hours of Saturn. Saturn is about the challenges we experience. Saturn deals with our root chakra, what we're rooted in. When you guys want to get to the root of the cause, the issue, whatever, what have you, you deal with Saturn. Saturn also deals with authority. If you want to deal with some challenges, long-term planning is happening on Saturn, but more so focused on the challenges on the long-term picture, limitations and restrictions. Not necessarily what can go wrong, but what guidelines do you have to stay within, right? Um, Saturn is sitting over there in Aries at a 1 degree in Aries. Happy Saturn return to my. Listen, good luck. Happy Saturn return. The Saturn is still sitting in the Pisces constellation, so no worries. We're still in the beginning of the Pisces constellation with Saturn, but we have officially entered Aries zodiac energy, and it's fun here. So new beginnings in our mindsets, some challenges that we've experienced that we may have, called traumas this whole time, but now we're feeling motivated by them and ambitious with them, and we're taking action on some of the challenges that came into our space with bravery and confidence. Hopefully, now with the underactive solar plexus or overactive solar plexus, that's not fun. Um, but that's what's happening there with Saturn and Aries. Now with it being in Pisces, while that's happening in Aries in our mindset, our energy exchanges, the challenges coming into our belief system, things we thought to be true, and also coming into like spiritual space with it, because Pisces energy deals with anything beneath the horizon beyond the five senses. So now we get into Akashic records, past life, and stuff like that, and us defeating some of the challenges of that space and time too, which is pretty cool, right? Um, did I go over the hours of Saturn? uh, that's from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then last, but most certainly not least, we get into the hours of Jupiter. Jupiter also deals with long-term planning. It deals with business planning. Get the downloads from the wisdom and the downloads from the oracles and the sages. Joy, generosity, expansion. Dealing with your nervous system heavy here during the hour of Jupiter. Jupiter right now is just had a transit into Cancer apparently yesterday. We're still in Gemini in the Vedic chart. We're like 24 degrees, the Ayana Masa, which is the difference between the tropical and the Vedic chart, is 24 degrees. So, we're at a 0 degree Cancer. So what's 30 take away 24? So we're at like a 6 degree in the Gemini constellation still. So we're still in the first quarter. We're like in the second pada, if you will. So we're not that far into Gemini constellation, but we have officially entered the Cancer zodiac. So mindset is on nurturing, being more intuitive with your sacral chakra, with your womb. Womb healing is heavy here. Ladies and gentlemen, you both have reproductive organs and reproductive systems. Fasting, cleansing, intentions, womb healing, womb health, reproductive health, all of that is very, 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 very important during this space and time. Nurture it, especially during this year 9, bars. But we are nurturing it, and we are being confident and courageous, and we're applicating that to our 5 deals with masculine energy. So like we're nurturing the sacral chakra and the joy. Ooh, I don't know why when I said that I thought about like that challenge with men like frolicking in the fields. I love seeing y'all in that level of joy. Y'all are so cute. I think y'all should just be like that all the time. I know the world doesn't let y'all be like that all the time, but to see a man in like pure joy is like chef's kiss. It's so cute. I love it. I love listening to men talk about like their passions, what they're passionate about, or something like they studied and they're very proud and confident of it. Even when they're being arrogant, it's still cute. I'm still over here like, oh my gosh, you were so adorable. Like you were just studying this and you're just so confident. And I hear you. I love you, black man. All men, but black man. um, but hopefully Jupiter in Cancer in the 5th house does that for you the way it does for me. That's what I think of when I hear it. But yeah, we're applicating that to our 5, which is our Tippereth, our confidence and courageousness, our heart. Leo rules over that 5th house energy. Also the Petri lineage, father lineage type situation. Also into our inner thespian, our creative self, our romantic self. We want joy and we want to nurture this, and we also want a sense of belonging with our humanitarian pursuits, because some of you guys have like big things to offer, but you might feel like where you're at you can't offer it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no lane for me here. I don't feel comfortable here. Da, da, da. So may this Jupiter and Cancer, put you guys in spaces that nurture your sacral chakra, your space of joy and generosity, and what you have to offer on a philanthropic level. And also, like I said, Jupiter deals with business too. So long-term planning with the business is key here too, and nurturing that long-term plan will definitely behoove you, especially with Jupiter and Mercury, like being all up close and personal for a little while until Mercury zooms past it, because Mercury moves a whole lot faster than Jupiter. But in the meantime, in between time, they're together. So this is a good time to look at the little picture and the big picture at the same time with your long-term planning and your goals and what makes you happy. I love that for us. Doesn't that sound like a good time? Love it. So just so you know that the clocks, the hours and times that I gave you guys is in alignment with the Chaldean order, in case you were wondering where I got it from. I didn't pull it out my butt, I promise. Anywho, the theme of our reading for today is Wounded Healer. So this is what we have. Is 5-3 is the number. 5 is that celestial enforcer, the Jabora, the Harakudi. 3 is our expression, our sense of understanding, right? That brings us to 8, building and destroying. So when we enforce that 3, how we feel, our space of creation, that being our understanding, that brings stuff building and destroying in our space. We have Chiron and Jupiter are on the forefront here. And Jupiter, I just got done giving you guys a whole rift about Jupiter being in Cancer, divine alignment. Nurturing that Jupiter is key here. And also Chiron is still in Aries. Eventually we'll be somewhere else. But right now we're still in Aries. When Chiron enters Taurus, see, I know you guys be seeing a lot of readers saying new house, new car, da 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 da. When that Chiron hits Taurus, it's gonna be very nice, because like right now it's like the wounds are in fire, right? And fire is very swift and very fast. And then it's an Aries fire, so it's in cardinal fire. So it's like it's a fire you're not even comfortable with. It's just like the new beginning fire. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like Leo or like Sagittarius fire that's a little older. It's the brand new John, right? So it's very swift. It's the initiator fire. It gets rid of things really fast while you're still trying to like hold on to it at the same time. And Chiron is how you transmute your wounds into a strength. So collectively we see that a lot, right? Our collective wounds as women, as men, as Americans, as indigenous Americans, as Moors or Islamists, or whatever demographics you identify by, you see a lot of Aries in your Chiron with those things that you identify with, right? Hey Adonis, peace to God. So that's what that is there. That's what that is there in a nutshell. It's new beginnings, it's ambition, it's motivation, it's a lot of leaders coming forefront to, take initiative on healing these wounds and speaking on them. Chiron is sitting in the second house of possessions, home affairs. So it's actually pre-gaming us for Taurus because the second house is a Taurus house, possessions, what we value and what we prioritize. All of those things, we're healing the wounds in those spaces. And so, yeah, it's kind of pre-gaming us for when Chiron does enter Taurus and what in our space of possessions gets that healing too. Our balance between wealth and love gets that healing too, which is, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna hold you. A little excitement happening here. I'm also excited for when Uranus enters Gemini, but I won't jump the gun too hard. Right now we're in the wounded healer, so not only are we focused on Chiron, but we're focused on that Jupiter that just entered Cancer as well. How'd you guys feel yesterday during the transits? Because I know I was sleepwalking. I had 2 cups of coffee yesterday, which is why I'm up right now. I'm mad as hell in the morning. I gotta do it again. Hopefully I get up early enough to go hop to Wawa before I get to work or something. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Then we got the Six of Pentacles. So we put in our Tippereth, our heart, our Sixth Sephira. We're also putting it in our Sixth of Health, Wellness, daily routine. It's Pentacles overflowing in our space. Jupiter, it deals with that expansion and abundance. I just got done talking about when Chiron enters Taurus and the fact that Chiron is sitting in our second house, pre-gaming us for that energy too. I've been getting my rest, and this week is busy though. This week is very busy. The more I look at it, I'm trying not to let it repeat in my mind too much, but it is like boom, 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 and that's cool. What that means to me is the Gemini energy and the Vedic chart is almost aligning up to my mind, and I should have had my mind just a little bit more focused. But it's never too late. It's never too late. We haven't entered the Gemini constellation yet. I got a few more days to get it together. But yeah, so we're in that space. We got the generosity, we got the expansion and abundance, focusing on that little picture on a daily routine. You know what I'm saying? You see how his coins is all organized in the back? That's all six. That's all Virgo energy, compartmentalizing the things that we possess and value. Now, I got a reverse magician card, and I don't know why, because that means that you guys are not using all your resources around you to assist you in this realm of things with the Jupiter and the Chiron and the six on the pinnacles and stuff like that. I want to upright this. This is not fun for me. So some of you guys, I need you guys to realize that I know how cliche and how dumb it sounds, but you literally have everything inside of you. Did you know that? You have everything inside of you, everything you need. It's like the end of The Wiz when she was looking at Diana Ross and she was like, "Girl, you was always home. All you had to do was click the motherfucking heels. You was always, it was in here." And then she was like, "It was always in here." And then she was like, "When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing." But before she did that, she walked to everybody and was like, "Scarecrow, you was always smart. Lion, you always had courage. You was getting them the monsters. You know what I'm saying? And then Tin Man, you always had heart. You was a crybaby. You was crying this whole movie. So it's always in you. You have everything you need to get what you desire. And if there's something that you feel like you don't have, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you actually do have it. You just don't have it in the way you think you should have it. And that's not benefiting you because the way you think you should have it is probably some level of indoctrination. Something taught you that you should have it that way. But you do have it though. So use it. Use what you got to get what you want, baby. And then, what parts of self should we focus on? Good question. I'm glad you asked. So, we should focus on our Bina, our 3, which we got into with the 5-3, right? We should focus on our sense of understanding. Bina deals with Saturn energies, the challenges that we experience. They give us the limitations and the restrictions, the discipline, the boundaries, and the order that we need to strengthen ourselves and have a survival of self and resources and stuff like that, right? We learn don't touch the fire because fire is hot. Now we have an understanding that fire is hot. Now we have the discipline and the limitations and restrictions to know when we're around fire, back up, you know. That's just a layman's example, but that's what that is. This is the Three of Wands, the Sun and Aries, new beginnings to our experiences, being confident and courageous, the solar plexus chakra in our experiences. So not only we dealing with the Three of Bina, we're also dealing with the Five, the Jabora of Aries, which brings us to the Five and the Three of the Wounded Hero card. See how it lines up? Then thinking about complacency, that's probably where this card is coming from. That little black blocked up card. It's because you're comfortable. It's because you're comfortable and get uncomfortable. The fuck? What? Like the things that you want to do, you can't have what you want to have where you're at. Otherwise, you would have it already in the spot that you're at. You got to do things you never done before to have things you never had before. You have to be places you never been before to experience things you've never experienced before. But you want to stay in these same spots and act like you don't have the things that you have to like do the things that you want to do. And I don't understand that. That's what we're not going to do. And some of that is coming from this being out and understanding. And that's probably why we have the sun in Aries. New beginnings. Be confident and courageous. Utilize your solar plexus chakra, especially on this wonderful day of 7, right? Go inward. Do some root work of like, why am I so scared of being uncomfortable? Like, what part of the uncomfortability am I afraid of? Let's tackle that. What do I feel like it should look like? What am I afraid that it might look like instead? Like, let's throw all that shit in the trash because at the end of the day, it's all in my head. It didn't even happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's power in your thoughts. If those aren't the thoughts that you want to have, like, you actually want to be successful in this, then stop thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it. You can do it. You got this. Do it. You have everything in you to do it. Just do it. Don't be complacent. Don't be like, oh well. It's like the line with the sour grapes. Like, them grapes was probably sour anyway. It was probably expensive anyway. I probably wasn't going to do that anyway. Like, don't do that to yourself. That's lame because then you got to come back here and do it because you probably was supposed to do it anyway. Like, just do it. Just try it. Worst case scenario is you fail and you fucking suck. And then you have to go do something else. But at least you could say you did it though. So, like, chill. Don't be complacent. Use the use your magic. You have all the elements. And then wise old man. I don't know who the old man is because I'm a whole lady, but you might come across a wise old man. I don't know why when I pull. Now I'm looking at this car. I'm thinking about that guy at the bus stop that cursed me out, told me about myself. He was dragging me, y'all. He was dragging me, and I can't get his voices out of my head telling me I'm gonna die alone. You gonna die alone, you demon woman. Your jewelry is ugly, and I'm like, dang, I made this jewelry. Now my feelings is hurt, cause like, why is you coming for me like this? Cause I didn't want your stuff. But wise old man, and it's coming from a 13. So that's a karmic debt number of taking action on how you feel and expressing what you know, which is very hard to do in this world that wants you to think and speak like everybody else. And if you don't, you're wrong, you're incorrect, and you fucking suck. And that sucks. Because, like, we're in the age of Aquarius, which is supposed to be about being unique and an individual and revolutionary. And y'all still want us to be like schools of fishes and Pisces. And we don't want to be. So that's the resistance there. So hopefully this wise old man, he's probably eccentric himself. It's probably the guy that cursed me out at the bus station. Because his voice is just, he had a Jamaican accent. He had all this gold and stuff on, and he had the army beret thing going on, and with a short set. He looked wild. Wild.com. He was definitely a Jamaican man on a bike, cursing me out. But yeah, so that is the vibe that I have for you guys today on this wonderful day of 7. Work on that wounded healing energy. Work on, looking at the big picture and the small picture at the same time with that Mercury and Jupiter transit. Palace is in retrograde. It's great things happening here. It's big things happening here. Focus on Chiron, where Chiron is at in your space. My Chiron is in Cancer, so it's like, ugh, wounds here on my experience. It's not that bad this year because I'm used to it. I'm actually having an okay time this year. But you know, that's what I got. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me and going through all of these things and liking and gifting me because that's cool. Like I started in I like the little Facebook gifts and the TikTok gifts and stuff. You guys are cool. Thank you. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me, let them know I come up here every day and I be doing dope shit. And also, for those of you guys who don't know, the god Adonis is doing a full moon ceremony. If you guys are interested, reach out to me and I'll like do a whole grapevine situation and hook you guys up in attendance. It will be at 1 a.m. So you got to be up and ready and down for the cause. But I'm very excited to be in alignment with that. I haven't done an intentional full moon ceremony in forever. So, like, I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I will let you guys go. I really appreciate y'all tapping in with me. We are officially entering, if you guys are over here on the East Coast with me in Jersey, we are officially entering the hour of the sun. So, have fun dealing with aligning your sun with the current Gemini Taurus sun. Peace, peace, y'all.